Okay, so today we're going deep on this platform called SedoFX.
Right.
And everything we're looking at comes straight from their website, you know?
Okay.
So no kind of like outside sources or anything like that, just like going through what they say about themselves, basically.
Sure.
Um, and the goal here is to like figure out, okay, what do they actually do? Who are they trying to, reach with their services?
Yeah.
And what are like the really important things they're trying to get across based on how they're presenting themselves?
Okay.
And hopefully by doing that, we can give you like a really quick and clear picture of what this whole platform's about.
That's good.
Straight from the horse's mouth, as they say.
Yeah, for sure.
So right off the bat, SedoFX says that they're dedicated to helping traders succeed.
Okay.
I mean, that's not exactly, a groundbreaking statement in the trading world, is it?
It's a common goal, right? I
Oh.
mean, everyone wants to succeed.
Exactly. Like pretty much every platform is going to say something along those lines.
Yeah.
But then they quickly jump into some key features that they think like really make them stand out.
Right.
So they highlight top-notch trading solutions, advanced technology, and easy access to global markets.
Okay.
Now, like on the surface, that sounds, pretty appealing, but like, what does that actually mean in practice for someone who's thinking about trading?
Well, you got to break it down, right? So when they say top-notch trading solutions,
Yeah.
what they're probably talking about are like the tools and the resources they give you to analyze markets and actually execute those trades,
Okay.
And then advanced technology, that usually means they're focusing on speed and reliability,
Yeah, that makes sense.
which are super important when you need to react quickly
Oh, absolutely.
to, price changes in the market.
Like milliseconds matter, right?
Exactly. Fractions of a second can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And then easy access to global markets. That implies they offer like a wide range of assets to trade,
Okay.
potentially across different countries and different sectors.
Yeah. So you're not limited to just like, one specific market.
Right. It opens up more opportunities.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're really hitting on those like key things that traders look for.
Yeah. They're trying to appeal to that kind of core audience.
Okay. And they also specifically call themselves a trusted Forex broker.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they want to connect traders with opportunities.
Right.
And provide a smooth and transparent trading experience. Like these days, trust and transparency are like the bare minimum, right?
They're essential.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they choose to really emphasize that right up front.
Yeah. It shows they're aware of the concerns people might have, when they're dealing with online trading platforms.
Exactly. Like it's almost like they're trying to address those concerns head on.
Right. Building that trust from the get-go.
Okay, so they've talked about, the overall goal and kind of like their philosophy.
Right.
Now let's get into how you actually trade on this platform.
Yeah, the mechanics of it.
So they've got this whole thing about their powerful trading platform with cutting-edge technology. I mean, everyone says that these days, right?
It's a bit of a buzzword, but there are things to look for.
Yeah, so what should we actually be paying attention to figure out if they're actually delivering on that promise?
Well, when they say cutting-edge technology, one of the first things that should come to mind is speed.
Yeah.
They even use the phrase lightning-fast execution. And that's super important in fast-moving markets.
Right.
Because the time it takes for your trade to actually go through can make a big difference. Like even tiny fractions of a second can impact your profits.
It's like trying to catch a moving target.
Exactly. You snooze, you lose.
And if the platform is slow, you might completely miss out.
You're going to be left behind, yeah.
Okay, so speed is crucial. They also talk about advanced charting tools, which are like essential for traders who use technical analysis, right?
Absolutely. It's all about identifying those trends and opportunities.
Yeah. And it's not just about how fast things are, the charts you can use.
Right. There's more to it.
They also talk about deep liquidity and tight spreads across different markets.
Okay.
These are terms that we hear a lot.
They come up all the time, yeah.
So can you break those down for us? Like, why are those so important?
Sure. So liquidity basically means how easy it is to buy and sell an asset without causing a big change in its price.
Okay.
Deep liquidity means there are a lot of buyers and sellers at any given time.
So things are moving smoothly.
Yeah, and you can execute large orders without really moving the price.
Which is good if you're trying to make a, sizable trade.
Right. You don't want to impact the market too much.
Okay, and then spreads.
So spreads are the difference between the buying price, which
Wow.
is also called the ask,
Okay.
and the selling price, which is called the bid.
Okay.
So it's that gap between the two.
Got it.
Tight spreads mean that difference is small, which basically reduces the cost of making a trade. And for active traders, those small differences can add up really quickly.
Yeah, especially if you're making, dozens or hundreds of trades a day.
Right. It becomes significant.
So they're really highlighting these factors that can affect a trader's bottom line.
Exactly. They're focusing on what matters to their users.
Okay, so we've covered the platform itself now. Let's talk about what you can actually trade on SedoFX.
All right.
They say they offer Forex, CFDs, and more.
Okay.
That and more, it always feels a bit like a tease.
I feel like they're holding back a little, yeah.
Yeah, like what's the more? So Forex, that's the foreign exchange market, right?
Yeah, where currencies are traded.
Okay, and then CFDs.
CFDs stand for contracts for difference.
Right.
They're a type of derivative, which basically lets you speculate on price movements without actually owning the asset.
So you're betting on whether the price will go up or down.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's Forex and CFDs. But what about the mysterious and more?
Well, it turns out they reveal that later on when they describe their different account types.
So we'll have to wait and see what that more actually entails.
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to a really crucial aspect, security and support. SedoFX very clearly states your funds and data are protected with top-tier security measures.
Okay.
Like in this day and age, that's got to be a non-negotiable, right?
Absolutely essential for any online platform handling your money.
Yeah, if there's a security breach, it could be disastrous.
That can have serious consequences.
So they're really emphasizing that they're taking security seriously.
Right. They want to assure users that their information is safe.
Okay. And along with that, they highlight expert support 24/7 from industry professionals. That's got to be reassuring for traders, you know?
Yeah, because imagine you're in the middle of a trade. And something goes wrong or you have a question.
Right.
Knowing you can get help quickly at any time from someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, it takes away some of that stress.
It's a big peace of mind.
Okay, so they've got you covered on the security front, and if you need help, they're there for you.
Exactly.
All right, now let's dive into the actual mechanics of trading with them. The account types.
Okay.
They say they have a variety of account types designed to cater to traders of all levels, from beginners to experienced professionals.
So they're trying to appeal to a broad range of traders.
Yeah, it sounds like they're casting a pretty wide net.
Right, trying to capture different segments of the market.
So they go on to detail 3 main account types, the standard, the pro, and the raw spread.
Right.
And each one has like its own entry requirements, pricing structures, and access to different trading instruments.
Okay.
So it's like a tiered system giving traders options based on their experience level, trading style, and how much capital they have to work with.
Right. It's about finding the right fit.
Okay, let's start with the standard account.
Sure.
So the minimum deposit for this one is only $50.
Okay.
That seems pretty accessible for someone who's just starting out.
Yeah, it's a relatively low barrier to entry.
Right. And the spreads on this account start from 0.3 pips. And there's no commission, which is nice.
Yeah, that keeps the costs down.
They also offer a really high maximum leverage up to 1 to 1,000.
Wow.
So for those who don't know, leverage basically lets you control more money in the market than you actually have in your account.
Right. It's like borrowing from the broker.
Exactly. And it can really magnify your potential profits.
But it can also amplify your losses.
Oh, absolutely.
Why so?
That's the crucial thing to remember with leverage.
That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. So it's not something to take lightly. So with the standard account, you can trade Forex, metals, and energies.
Okay.
And interestingly, they say this account is ideal for all types of traders.
Interesting.
Which seems to imply that it's a good starting point for most people.
Yeah, it could be a way to get your feet wet.
Okay, so that's the standard account. Next up is the pro account.
All right.
And here, the minimum deposit jumps to $1,000.
Okay, so a bit more of a commitment.
Yeah, definitely a step up from the standard account.
Right.
They say it has low spreads, but they don't actually give a specific pip value.
Okay.
Which is something you'd probably want to look into if you're considering this account.
Yeah, you'd want to know the details.
Yeah, like how low is low. Like the standard account, there's no commission. And the maximum leverage is still 1 to 1,000.
Okay.
The main difference with this account is that you can also trade cryptocurrencies in addition to Forex, metals, and energies.
Okay.
So they're adding another asset class to the mix.
Expanding the options.
Yeah. And they say this account is ideal for experienced traders, which makes sense given the higher minimum deposit.
Right. And potentially tighter spreads.
Yeah. So it's geared towards people who are a bit more, seasoned in the trading world.
Yeah. They probably have a better understanding of the risks and the strategies involved.
Okay. And finally, we have the raw spread account.
Right.
This one has the highest minimum deposit, $5,000.
Okay, so that's definitely for serious traders.
Yeah, it's signaling that this account is aimed at people who are, really committed and have a decent amount of capital.
Right, they're not playing around.
So as the name suggests, this account offers raw spreads starting from 0.0 pips.
Wow, so that's super tight.
Yeah, which is exactly what you want if you're a scalper.
Right, because they're making tiny profits on each trade.
Yeah, so those fractions of a pip really matter.
Absolutely.
But there's a catch. This account charges a commission per trade.
Okay.
They don't specify how much, though.
So you'd have to dig into their fee schedule.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. The leverage is still up to 1 to 1,000.
Okay.
And this account gives you access to the widest range of instruments.
Right.
Forex metals, energies, cryptocurrencies, indices, and even individual stocks.
So it's the full package.
Yeah, they're really opening up the playing field with this one.
Right, giving you a lot of flexibility.
And they specifically say it's ideal for scalpers.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, because scalping is all about making quick trades on small price movements.
Exactly. So those tight spreads are essential.
Yeah, but you have to weigh that against the commission they're charging.
Right. You got to do the math and see if it makes sense for your trading volume.
So with these 3 different account types, they're really segmenting their audience.
Yeah, appealing to different levels of experience and trading styles.
Okay, so in addition to the trading accounts, they also have something called an Introducing Broker IB program.
Okay.
We see these kind of partnership programs a lot these days.
Yeah, it's a common strategy.
So basically, it's a way for SedoFX to get more clients through referrals. Individuals or businesses can partner with them and earn rewards for bringing in new traders.
It's like an affiliate program.
Exactly. They say it's a chance to elevate your earnings.
Okay.
Which usually means you get a commission based on the trading activity of the people you refer.
Yeah, so the more active your referrals are, the more you earn.
Yeah, it's a way for them to incentivize people to spread the word about their platform.
Right. It's a win-win for both sides.
Okay, so we've covered the account types and this partnership program. Now let's talk about their website itself.
Okay.
They have a bunch of different pages that provide more information.
All right.
You've got the basics like account types, trading platform, and of course the FAQ.
Yeah, the essential stuff.
But they also have a page for copy trading,
Interesting.
which suggests that they might let you automatically copy the trades of other traders. That's becoming pretty popular these days.
Yeah, especially for less experienced traders.
Right. It's like a way to learn from the pros.
Yeah, and potentially benefit from their strategies.
Okay, and then there's the partners page, which probably goes into more detail about their IB program
Right.
and other partnerships they might have.
Okay.
And of course, they have pages for deposit options and withdrawal options.
Yeah, got to know how to get your money in and out.
Exactly. That's essential information. And then you've got the legal section, which is super important.
You can't skip that part.
No way. They list their KYC policy, AML policy, TNC, and privacy policy.
Right.
If you're even thinking about using this platform, you need to read through all of that stuff carefully.
It's crucial to understand what you're signing up for.
Yeah, so KYC stands for Know Your Customer, and AML is anti-money laundering.
Right.
These are policies that are in place to verify your identity and prevent illegal financial activities.
It's for everyone's protection.
Yeah, it protects the platform, the users, and helps them comply with regulations.
Right. It's about creating a safe and legitimate trading environment.
And then you've got the T&C, which are the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
Basically the contract between you and SedoFX.
Yeah. Outlining your rights and responsibilities.
And finally, the privacy policy, which explains how they handle your personal data.
Right. What information they collect, how they use it, and how they keep it secure.
Okay, so the legal section is not just some boring legal mumbo-jumbo.
It's essential reading.
Yeah, it's actually really important to understand all of that.
It protects you as a user.
Now, this is where things get serious.
Okay.
SedoFX has some really clear and prominent warnings and notices on their website.
All right.
First up is the risk warning. You can't miss it.
And they put it there for a reason.
Yeah, trading Forex and CFDs comes with a lot of risk.
It's inherently risky.
They even say it might not be suitable for all investors.
Right. It's not for everyone.
And they're not shy about pointing out that you can lose more than your initial deposit.
Yeah, because of leverage.
Exactly. And that's not just some hypothetical thing.
It's a real possibility.
Yeah, people actually do lose more than they put in.
It happens.
So understanding leverage and managing your risk is absolutely crucial if you're going to trade these kinds of products.
It's essential for protecting yourself.
Okay, so right after the risk warning, they have a no investment advice disclaimer.
Yeah.
This is pretty standard across the industry.
Yeah, most platforms have something similar.
Basically, they're saying they're providing a trading facility, not personalized financial advice.
Right.
So the information on their website is for informational purposes only.
It's not a recommendation to buy or sell anything.
Exactly. The decision to trade is ultimately yours.
Yeah. You're responsible for your own choices.
And if you need specific investment advice, you should talk to a financial advisor.
Right. Someone who's qualified to give you personalized guidance.
Okay, so they've made it clear that they're not giving financial advice. Now, there's also a brokerage notice where they say they're an international trading platform that operates under strict internal compliance policies and industry best practices.
Okay.
So they're trying to assure users that they're following the rules.
Yeah, and creating a fair and secure trading environment.
But the term international trading platform can be a bit vague. you know.
It depends where they're actually based and licensed.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's worth looking into which regulatory bodies actually oversee them.
Yeah. You want to know who's holding them accountable?
Okay. And finally, a super important piece of information, restricted jurisdictions.
Oh.
They clearly state that their services are not available to residents of certain places, including, but not limited to, the United States, Canada, and countries sanctioned by international authorities. So this is something you, the listener, need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. You got to check if they're allowed to operate in your country.
Yeah, because different countries have different regulations for financial trading platforms.
Right.
And if you ignore this, you could get into serious trouble.
Legal and financial repercussions.
So do your homework and make sure they're legally allowed to operate where you live.
Yeah, don't just assume it's okay.
Okay. So we've gone through all the main points, but there's one last kind of quirky thing I noticed on their website.
Right.
They have a section called Our Power is Numbers.
Okay.
But at the time this information was captured, all the numbers were zero.
Zero.
Like clients, countries, account types, even average winnings, all zero.
Huh. That's strange.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
It is.
So it could mean a couple of things. Maybe they're a brand new platform.
Yeah, just starting out.
And they haven't had time to build up a client base.
Okay.
Or maybe that section of their website is still under construction.
Yeah, waiting for live data to come in.
Yeah. But it's definitely something that stands out.
It's a bit odd.
Yeah, like it doesn't really give you any sense of their scale or their performance.
Right. It's not very informative.
So if you're interested in this platform, you might want to check back later and see if those numbers have changed.
Yeah, see if they've updated it.
Okay, so to sum it all up, based on their own website, SedoFX presents itself as a global online trading platform.
Okay.
Offering access to a range of markets.
Right.
Mainly Forex and CFDs. And they have this tiered system of account types.
Yeah, standard pro and raw spread.
Each one tailored for different kinds of traders.
Right.
Different experience levels, different capital, different trading style.
Exactly. They really emphasize the power of their platform, their access to global markets, their strong security measures, and their round-the-clock support.
Yeah, they're hitting all the key points.
But it's super important to remember those risk warnings they have.
Absolutely.
And the information about restricted jurisdictions.
Yeah, those aren't just minor details.
No way. Those are like fundamental things to consider.
Right. It could be a deal breaker.
Yeah. So here's a final thought for you, the listener.
Okay.
Given all this information about their different account types and their focus on the risks of trading, what kind of trader do you think would be a good fit for SedoFX? Like, think about their experience level.
Okay.
Their risk tolerance, how often they trade those kinds of things.
Right.
And just as important, what other research would you do before you even thought about giving them your money? Because reading their website is just the first step, right? It's a starting point, but you got to dig deeper.
Yeah, you need to do your own due diligence.
Absolutely.
Look at reviews, compare them to other platforms. Really understand what you're getting into.
It's your money on the line.
Exactly. So be informed, be cautious, and trade responsibly.
Sound advice.
All right, that's our deep dive on SedoFX.
Okay.
Catch you in the next one.
See.